Tom, what's up? What's going on, big fella? Travis going through it tonight, boy.
Yeah.
That baby ain't playing at all.
No, she's not.
Tom, I'll be up there Thursday night. Come see Top Gun. Maverick.
Ugh.
Yep. Thursday night, baby. They're actually showing it tonight in some places. But obviously I couldn't be there tonight. Because if I could have, I would have tried to be in those places to see it. But I got tickets for Thursday up at Movie Tavern. I know you always off. I don't hardly ever see you up there when I go up there anymore. I'm normally up there on Thursday night though. Thursday night's normally my thing now. I'm back to doing that since I have made some changes in my relationship status.
Did you see the report that Justin Herbert apparently has gained weight?
Yeah, but it just depends on how much. I mean, and it depends on what kind of weight. I hear people gain weight. That ain't that big of a deal. It just depends. I mean, he's a tall guy. He might have needed to gain a little bit more weight anyway. What if he gained some muscle weight where, now he can throw the ball farther? I mean, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
So I don't get alarmed too much by that. I know they said that, what's his name? Not Daniel Jones, but the one that's in Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that, he came back looking like he's been working out and all that, and they're sure he's going to have such a great year. Man, that ain't got nothing to do with playing no damn football.
Right.
Just because he came in there with some abs showing or whatever, or looked like he's in good shape, so. I mean, let's see how that translates to the football field.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an article that says how much they said he gained. I thought I had heard it was about 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah, 10, 15 pounds, man. He'll run that out the first week of training camp.
Right.
I mean, you can lose that in a day. Some people do when they first get to camp. And
Yep.
you've been staying in Connecticut, and now your ass is out there in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll melt that off in a practice.
Right. No, they said it looks like it's more muscle mass. I'm not concerned about it, right? I just thought it was, kind of interesting. But, how much does that hamper, if anything? He does run the ball a little bit. He's a little bit of he's not Michael Vick by any means, but he's not Tom Brady. He'll tuck it and run a little bit.
Yeah, that ain't gonna hurt him. That ain't gonna hurt him at all.
Right. It might actually just help him, just so if he gets hit, it may not kill him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. All right, Travis, let's roll it.
I gotcha.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats of this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey yo, let's get it poppin'.
Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I am your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Imperial Palace here on Black Mania. Today we are down to just me and Travis. We're just gonna do the old well, now they do it on Speak for yourself. What's the one with Shannon Sharp and Skip?
Undisputed.
There you go. Undisputed. And that's me and Travis. I'm undisputed with me and Travis. So y'all know how that goes. What's going on?
Am I Skip? You Shannon?
Yeah, you can be Shannon.
Oh, I'm not. I'm Shannon, not Skip.
Yeah, let's let you be Shannon. Now I'll be Skip. I ain't got no problem being Skip. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, what's going on, Travis?
Oh, not much. Just getting ready for this holiday weekend. So, gonna be seeing the grandparents this weekend. So,
seeing them where? They coming there? Or you going there?
I think they're coming here, but we haven't. We're still kind of working out the details.
Not official yet.
Not official. We just know we're gonna see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, Travis, let's get started talking about the NFL. This is a funny kind of year, or a funny time of the year,
right?
For the NFL, because everybody's really focused on NBA playoffs and whatnot right now, and so you just kind of have some auxiliary stories kind of going on out there, and so in the NFL, one of the things that everybody always makes a big deal out of is OTAs,
right?
And it's more who's not coming to OTAs than who is coming. So one of the big stories is that Rodgers and Murray are both skipping OTAs. And I was just curious how people felt about that. Like, is that a big deal to some people? I mean, I'm just curious. I know that I have a certain way that I feel about it, obviously. And I was just curious as to how other people feel about it. How do you feel about especially like a quarterback? It's a little bit different with a quarterback because a quarterback is automatically deemed a team leader.
Right.
So is that wrong for a quarterback to miss OTAs?
First off, I agree. There's definitely a difference between the quarterback missing and random defensive linemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's OTAs. It's voluntary for a reason, right? These football players aren't sitting on the butts doing nothing. I'm sure they're still working out.
Mm-hmm.
If they've been with the team for any length of time, I don't feel like they need to be at OTAs. If they're a rookie, right, and they're just coming in to the system, they probably need to come. Learn the playbook, get used to the coaches, get used to the players, this, that, and the other. But if you're any type of veteran and you've gone through this for a year or two, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's basically someone telling you what you're supposed to do for 2 or 3 weeks, even though you already know what to do, right? And you're probably not learning too much, and it's really not that big of a deal. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially for these quarterbacks like Murray, like a Rodgers that have been in the NFL for multiple seasons. They already know their team, basically. Okay.
Well, Matthew Kalut, and then Matthew's been an attorney who's done a lot of work with the NFL. So he's kind of been around the game. And he said, guys knows these QBs need time with new receivers. And I would agree with him totally. So that's one reason. And being a former wide receiver myself and coach wide receivers now, I don't think you can have too much time. Like Joe Burrow harped on his time at LSU. From the time I got there to, we all summer long, we put in, 200,000 repetitions and
Right.
yada, yada, yada. And he marveled over the amount of time that they spent with, that he spent with his receivers and that kind of thing. So I think that there is definitely good to that, to have everybody there. But I will take it a step farther and say that I'll even relax it. I mean, they're all pros, and pros to pros. That's their job. It's their job to be able to, jump in with a new quarterback. You could get traded in week 9 or week 12 or whatever, and you got to go to a new team and do your job and catch balls, learn the offense, blah 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 blah. Here's the problem I have. If you're Aaron Rodgers and you've been, in the league for 15 years and you decide not to go to OTAs, I'm okay with that. I mean, Tom Brady, I don't think Tom Brady ever goes or whatever. That's a whole different thing. I bet Tom Brady's ass went when he was, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably up to about maybe 8 years in the league. But when you are Kyler Murray, you need to have your ass at OTA. I mean, that's my whole thing. I'm just gonna keep it real. I mean, nobody likes you anyway. I mean, and so you need to, in my opinion, be mending fences, building relationships, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, you need to be going in and talking to the damn janitors in the building. The more they can see you, and the more you can, build some. Put some emotional coins in the bank account and all that other stuff. You need to just have your face in the place because you are a jackass. And I mean, not too many people, even on your team, are crazy about you anyway. So for him not to be there, I definitely have a problem with that. It's like I said, I think you kind of need to feel out where you are in the in the span of things and decide whether or not you're gonna go or not go or whatever. But for a young quarterback like him, and you've already been through this little thing where you were throwing a hissy fit about getting an extension and all that, and already look bad in probably some people's eyes as far as that's concerned, because it ain't like you've done a whole lot anyway there yet. I mean, I think that would be a great opportunity for him to humble himself, be there for OTAs, show that, hey, I'm trying to help the team, be here for the team, things of that nature, than to not be there. Okay. So I was really, when I heard he was missing, I was kind of set off by that. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Few questions, follow-ups on that then.
Come on.
And we kind of talked about it right at the beginning. Does that go with, I know we're talking mainly about quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. But does that go with your offensive linemen, your defensive linemen, your wide receivers? The younger guys kind of need to be there. You're a veteran, you probably don't need to be there.
Great question. Let me tell you this. And I should have said this earlier. I want everybody to understand what an OTA is. OTA is an organized team activity. Anytime I think that the team takes the time to organize something and to do something, your ass needs to be there. That's my opinion. If it's an OTA, I don't give a damn if they say it's not mandatory or whatever. The fact that they took their time to organize it, and the fact that there might be a coach there saying something that I feel like I need to hear, my ass is going to be there. Because if they took time to organize it, which is what an OTA is, and have coaches there and everything, my ass needs to be there. That's the way I would feel about it. It's not like you haven't had damn 4 months off anyway.
Right.
Or however long it's been, 5 months or whatever. Your ass should be itching to get back anyway, especially if you play for a team like the damn Falcons or the damn Lions or somebody like that. Everybody's ass ought to be in there. You got to be kidding me. So to answer your question, yes, I do think that damn all the young people ought to be in there. When they say it's not mandatory, they need to change that to not mandatory if you ain't been in this motherfucker for a decade. But if you have, then you need to damn have your ass here.
And that was kind of lead to my next question. Is there a time limit of I've been in the league for X amount of years, or is it our team was really good this past year? I'm going to use my team like the Bengals, right? We made all the way to the Super Bowl, right? We were really good last year. We made the Super Bowl. Even though I'm Joe Burrow and this is my third year as a quarterback, I have a really good connection with my wide receivers anyway, right? Obviously, we saw that. He had a really good year. They made it to the Super Bowl. Maybe I don't need to go to that, even though I'm only a third-year player. You see what I'm kind of getting at? But if I'm the Lions or the Falcons who didn't make a Super Bowl or the playoffs at all, I definitely need to be there.
It ain't about that. I mean, my whole thing is that, to me, any quarterback should think about being there just because, by default, you're the leader of the team. And so it just shows some commitment to me that you are. It's like, well, damn, if Joe Burrow came, everybody's ass ought to be here. Right. You know, if Aaron Rodgers came, everybody ought to be there. That just sends a message to everybody that, dude, I ain't playing with y'all. We ain't messing around this year. I mean, we need everybody all in. So what happens is you go with this, everybody's all in. And then, you know, it's, well, he ain't here. I mean, how can you be all in if you're not here? Right. Ray Miller says the quarterback, and I agree, Ray, is an extension of the head coach. And I agree with that totally. Tom says, I would think, yes, it's their job, but unlike a regular job where you have just your work, they need to reach out. They need to read off each other and be on the same page. I believe it would be necessary to have the most comfort. I agree, but that's what I'm saying. The more time you spend around each other, especially in something more relaxed, like OTAs and stuff like that, because the next time you see him and the next time you're going to see these prima donnas who aren't going to show up, they're going to be in hurry mode. It's like we only got like 6 weeks before we got a game. Right. And so now it's like this. We got every day, we got install. You know, they got an install sheet that says we're going to go over these plays on this day. Then we're going to go over these plays so that by this date, we got the whole playbook in, and now we're ready to roll. Right. You know what I mean? And you're going to be on that frantic pace. Right now, it's like everything's kind of relaxed. Everything's kind of cool. Be a good time for you to get in there. And again, get some of those emotional deposits in that bank account where, you know, hey, man, I remember over OTAs, you know, me and him were going out to the movie, and I took all the receivers to the movies, and we talked, and then we went to dinner and did this and that. And you have that opportunity to do that. Because when they get back in it's business time, you don't have time for that. You ain't got time for that. I mean, it's time to rise and grind, you know, and you worried about trying to keep your job from this hotshot rookie that's trying to take it. And then you don't have that. So that's why I would think that would be a good idea to do that. I mean, you know, the union's going to make sure, you know, the Players Association going to make sure it ain't going to be mandatory and no coaches making everybody come. And, you know, I mean, that's all part of it. But I would think, you know, and again, and you say, you know, if you're one of these sorry-ass teams, it ain't going to matter if you come or not come, so why come? And I hear you, but I'm just saying that, you know, it would help change the culture. Right. You know, if you did have everybody show up and everybody, and now would say we're all in and this, down, this, hey, we had 100% participation in OTA. That speaks towards something. Yep. You know, even if you're a head coach, I'd be calling people like, dude, I really would like to get everybody here for OTAs. I can't make you come, and I understand that. And I know you're in the south of France, or, you know, you decided to go to Dubai this weekend or whatever the case may be. But I would love to have everybody here. And I just don't think that's asking too much. Right. And it's crazy to me that, you know, when you talk about this, you know, they're like, dude, I haven't been to OTAs in 10 years. Okay, well, we'll do something different. How about be there this year? Right. You know, think about if Aaron Rodgers would have showed up to OTA. That would have probably made all kind of damn news and everything if he'd have shown up. So anyway, I would like to see more people do that, but it is what it is.
Yep. So, well, one guy that probably needs to show up to OTAs is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, dude. this is my thing. Jason and I talked about this earlier because I saw a thing on TV today. Is Jimmy Garoppolo, why is he a storyline? I mean, why is he even mentioned right now? I mean, they have this big thing about he could possibly be the starter on day one for the 49ers. And I mean, me and everybody who's a 49er fan are praying that doesn't happen. But if he is, I mean, is that a big storyline? I mean, Ray Miller, Tom Holt, Matt, is that a big storyline for you guys about Jimmy? Why is Jimmy Garoppolo even mentioned right now, other than the fact that he's stuck and can't go anywhere, him and Baker Mayfield? I mean, they're two suck quarterbacks. They're stuck in a situation right now where they know that nobody wants them where they are. And I mean, if it were me, I would be going and talking to the GM like, dude, please just make me an unrestricted free agent. Let me get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. I promise you I can find somewhere for me to go. Just cut me loose. But I think that, the team doing the right thing to protect the team is just saying, there you go, Matt just said it. I'm not going to release you. I'm not releasing you because I can use your ass for trade bait. And, I need to get something for you. So go find a team that's willing to trade and give me something for you, and then we can talk. But if you do, until that happens, I'm not releasing your ass until the last day that I have to. Which it'll be sometime soon. I think they'll have to do that and decide are they going to pay him or just go ahead and outright release him.
Right.
So
I think the answer. I think it is a story, and I'll give two reasons why it's a story. One, it's the off season. Mm-hmm. Right. There's not a lot, like you said, there's not a lot of stuff going on right now.
Right.
So to have a starting quarterback's job come in question and who's going to be the starting quarterback is definitely a story just in the offseason. Two, it is San Francisco, who was damn near one play away from going to the Super Bowl, right? They're not the Detroit Lions, right? They're not the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team has talent. This team is this close to going to the Super Bowl. And because of that, they need a quarterback to get them there because they have all the other pieces. And we've kind of seen what Jimmy G is, and no one's really sure if he can and he can't do it. But no one has any idea what Trey Lance is. And if they go to Trey Lance and they stink, and they don't make the playoffs because he's terrible, then that's a huge mistake, and they might have just wasted their time frame, their window. So okay. I would say that's the reason why people are talking about it, because they're, as a team, they're in the window of making the Super Bowl right now.
Right. So why would
they don't have is a quarterback.
Why would you not talk more about why would Trey Lance not be the story and not Jimmy Garoppolo? Because to me, Trey Lance is the story. Because at the end of the day, if Trey Lance had done what he was supposed to do, Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't even be there.
Right.
I mean, they'd cut Jimmy's ass. They'd be like, man, get your butt on out of here.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that Trey Lance he's not lived up to expectations.
Absolutely. That's another part of the reason. Trey Lance is the unknown. Right.
I agree.
No one knows. No, we don't know. The NFL doesn't know. The 49ers probably don't exactly know what they have in him. And that's part of the reason. That he's the unknown of can he get us there.
That should be the story. That's my point. The story should be Trey Lance. I mean, you're saying they don't know. Well, the story is dig into it and find out why we don't know. I mean, because the bottom line is do know. I mean, somebody interview him, talk to him, talk to the coach, be like, what is it that Trey Lance is not doing that's keeping him from the field? I mean, does he not know the damn playbook? I mean, is he too slow? Is he too fat? I mean, what are y'all doing to fix it?
Right.
I mean, is he ever going to play? I mean, at what point is he going to play? I mean, that's my whole thing is that you're saying, well, he's an unknown and we don't know why he's not on the field yet and this and that and other. Well, damn, isn't that what investigating reporting is for? I mean, damn, find out why. I mean, ask the damn coach. Be like, Coach, what the hell's going on with Trey Lance? I mean, he's supposed to be the heir apparent. So when is that going to take place? I mean, is it going to be game one? I mean, I would be asking every question about Trey Lance. Nobody gives a damn about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a non-factor.
Right. But you can ask that, right? And random San Francisco 49er beat reporter can ask them that. But just because you ask the question doesn't mean that they have to answer it, right? They'll give some him-haw, politically correct. Oh, we're examining all of our options, and then you're not going to get an answer out of that, and then you don't have a story to run with because then what's the headline? We have no answer for when asked we asked John Lynch and we didn't get an answer.
No, what you do is you say John Lynch avoided answering our question. So the bottom line is that there's something wrong with damn Trey Lance. I mean, we don't know what it is, but it's obviously something, because if it's not, why isn't his ass playing? I mean, it's that simple. And is it that glaring of a problem that you can't tell us? I mean, can he read? Is that it? I mean, I'm telling you right now, when I was at Seattle, we had a guy on our team who could not read.
Really?
Yes, sir. A rookie in the same class I was in, rookie who could not read.
So I can just see Coach Boo Mitchell, 49er beat reporter, sitting there asking John Lynch, why is Trey Lance not playing? Oh, next question. Can he read?
I ask him this time. Yeah. You know what? I'd be like, Coach, is there some reason why you don't want to tell us what's wrong with Trey? I mean, is it something physical? Is something physically wrong with him? Does he have any kind of learning disability where he's not grasping the playbook? I mean, is that out of line for me to ask something like that? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I don't think that's out of line at all. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there is some reason. And if there's no physical reason why, okay, you said there's no physical reason why he's not playing. Well, that only leaves a mental or a psychological. I mean, is he scared? I mean, well, what is it? Because bottom line is, it's something. If it wasn't, his ass would be playing.
Or, well, Coach, maybe there's nothing physically, mentally, wrong with him. But when they are going through camp, Jimmy Garoppolo is just better than him, right? And maybe they don't want to say that.
Well, no problem. If Jimmy Garoppolo is better than him, why at the end of the year did you tell Jimmy Garoppolo that there were no plans for him to return next year? Which is what the organization told him. They were not planning on him returning next year. And you're going to do that with a quarterback that's unable to play? I mean, why is that? How is that? I mean, to me, the organization already looks stupid. And I mean, and it gets worse by the day. By the day, it gets worse. So Matthew Kalu said the better question is, what if Deshaun Watson takes a 10 to 12 game suspension? Is Baker going to play? He's talking about Baker Mayfield out there in Cleveland Browns. That's a great question, Matt. But my whole thing is that who knows how long Deshaun? I'm gonna tell you right now. I honestly believe that the NFL is trying to figure out how fewer games can we let Deshaun be fined or suspended.
Yep.
That's not going to piss off the public.
Yep.
I think that's what they're looking for right now. How few games? What will be the smallest amount of games that is going to satisfy Joe, or I should say Jane woman out there who's watching and not going to be like, you got to be kidding me. There were 27 women and you only suspended him for 4 games? Or there were 27 women and you only suspended him for 12 games? He should be gone for a whole season at least. And I think that's what the NFL is looking for. I think they're waiting on finding what that, talking to, doing some polls and doing all this stuff to find out what's going to satisfy somebody. Ray Miller said Baker's done. Baker might be done, but I don't think anybody wants to play with him right now, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I will say, before we go on to the next topic of another terrible franchise of Washington, I do find it interesting. Of course, the schedule came out of the NFL. Everyone's schedules came out, and the Browns have 8 games, and then they have their bye week. And to me, that's like, okay, they're going to give him an 8-game system because that's half the season, right? 8, out of the 17 games in the season, but basically 8, okay, we're going to suspend him for half the season. And then week 10, he comes back because they have a bye week 9. I think that's what happens. And
you may be right.
They gave them the bye week right dead center in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think that as the NFL is meeting with them, I think they're seeing that there's a whole lot more to this story than what they thought.
Yes.
And so I think it might be less. I'm just having the feeling that it's going to be less. So,
less than 8 games?
Yes, less than 8. Ray Miller says, and they have a primetime game week 10, he thinks. So Deshaun could show up in week 10 after, the bye week or whatever and be playing in that primetime game.
Actually, the bye week is the week before the
8th?
The 8th, which is actually against the Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They have the Monday Night Football on Halloween, and then their bye week is the week after that.
Interesting. I hear you. Well, like I said, it's going to be we're all following that and everything, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders. I mean, that not that anybody cares. I thought this was interesting though. They purchased some land for a new stadium. I guess that what's the name?
Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder just trying to get a whole new look for that franchise. I mean, just trying to just wash it. Getting a new name, a dumbass new name, by the way. Who knows what they're gonna make that stadium look like? But supposedly they bought the land for where they're gonna try to put a new stadium.
Yeah.
Again, does anybody care? I mean, I really don't, to be honest with you, especially about something like this. But I just thought it was interesting that, you look at all the changes, big changes. I mean, everybody might think that that's not a big change. Anytime you change the name of your football team,
huge.
I mean, especially for somebody like me. I mean, I just turned 56 years old on Sunday. And the bottom line is that when you've known this franchise your entire life as being the Washington Redskins, and now they turn to the Washington Commanders, and I mean, it's a lot. I know y'all don't think so. I know y'all think that I'm the only one that's this old. It's a lot of jokes out there as old as I am, and even older, who are like, what the hell just happened in Washington?
Right.
I mean, that is a big change for a lot of people. And I struggle not to say Washington Redskins every time I say it. And I had halfway gotten used to this whole Washington football team thing. And now to go to the Washington Commanders, I see it when it comes on TV, and I'm like, is that their soccer team? Because I'm not that big on soccer, and I'm like, it takes it a while for me to remember. Thank you, Tom. Tom said happy birthday. It takes it a little while for me to remember that that's down, the football team now. So anyway, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but, real quick on this. I do find it interesting. I think I heard that the new stadium is supposed to be like 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. I thought that was a little interesting, right? They're kind of getting.
I wonder if they might change their name to Virginia, whatever, or whatever city they're moving to.
Yeah, because
since they're moving outside of D.C., that far outside of D.C. Wow.
Exactly. So I just found that really interesting, but we'll have to see where that goes. So, quick hitters. We'll do just a 1-sentence thought on all of these. I'll read it off, and you just tell me what you think, Coach. Number 1, Dwayne Haskins. His toxicology report came out from his untimely death, and he was legally drunk at the time of his death.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that just kind of extends the tragedy that of what happened. My question is, was that really necessary for everybody to know that? I mean, I hate that. I really, really hate that because, I mean, all that does is just hurt the family.
Right.
I mean, I just some things just don't need to be reported, and if they do get reported, report that at a much later day. It's way too soon to be. I mean, it seemed like just yesterday that happened.
Yeah.
And I heard that today, and I just like, ugh, that's awful.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, but go ahead.
Number 2, the Arizona Cardinals were chosen as the in-season team for Hard Knocks. Of course, last year they did the Indianapolis Colts. So this year it's the Cardinals.
That's probably the best information I've had today. That's the best news I heard all day. Because, I can't wait to see Kyler Murray being the brat that he is. And now he got cameras following him around all day during the season. Because it's just going to happen. It's going to be eruptions left and right. And I'm telling you, if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get out of there after this contract, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Because I know he's sick and tired of that damn bratty ass kid. And I'll be shocked if he doesn't get out of there after this.
Right.
But I thought that was very interesting that they chose them amongst all people. And I think a lot of times it's like putting Phaedra on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, because it's going to be some shit if Phaedra's on there. And I mean, just like picking that team, it's going to be some stuff. That with that volatile quarterback they have, with that, half-ass good team that they have and all that, they're going to be in some good close games and, he's going to lose his stuff and all this. So I think that's going to make for some great TV.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a really good pick, actually, for a TV standpoint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's not too many teams I would have rather have had them choose than the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather have them do them instead of the Bengals, right? Like, again, a Bengals fan over here. Like, I will actually watch this. I didn't watch the Colts one because I thought that was pretty boring anyway. I'll watch this one. They got characters on this on that team. So
I wasn't trying to see Carson Wentz.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Carson Wentz is apparently the leader in the clubhouse for the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
How sad is that? I mean, guys, they said today, let me get it right. I think they said over the last 4 seasons or the last 3 seasons, they've had like 11 quarterbacks, 11 people start at quarterback for the Washington Redskins over the last 3 seasons. 11. I mean, let's just breathe that in for a minute, because if you're a normal NFL franchise, you've had maybe 2, a quarterback and his backup when he got hurt, start for your franchise over that amount of time or that period of time. Think about Ben Roethlisberger, and he was an Iron Man and this and that and all that other stuff. Absolutely. And I mean, in Pittsburgh in the last 11 years. Mason Rudolph, I think, got in there for a little while. Yep. And Roethlisberger, the only 2 I can remember it being there. I mean, check me on that, Travis, if you can think of somebody else. But I'm just thinking about your normal franchise. Even when you look at a sorry-ass franchise like Atlanta, how many times has Matt Ryan not been there? I mean, Matt's been there most of the time. And if he hasn't,
he walked in, yeah.
Maybe his backup, which we don't even know who his backup is, I don't believe. Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. And when you think that of the fact that there has been 11, when we can't even think of a 2 for Matt Ryan, for Matty Ice. I mean, you can't even think of a 2, let alone to be trying to think of 11. Yeah. I mean, dude, that right there is just ridiculous. And Jason and I talked about how we got to go back to what we've been trying to do in the NFL. Like, and I told Jason we need to call it the Build a Billionaire program, because there are some franchises out there who don't give a damn about winning. Dude, they just want to make their money. Just as long as when all the profit sharing is done and all that, I mean, don't nobody come to watch our games anyway. But we're going to get paid just because the NFL doing good, and they're going to cut everything in 32 and give us our share. So our share is going to be at least $1 billion every year.
Which, by the way, according to your guys' standards, the Bengals are now on the right side of your
They are. They finally did something. But for all these teams, and this was Jason endorsed it. It was my proposition.
Yep.
If your ass don't make the playoffs, you on deck for being cut. So if you don't make the playoffs the next year, man, you put that team up for sale, let somebody else have it.
I think you gave him a 3-year window. I think
maybe 3 years. And maybe you got 3 years to make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs in 3 years, then do this time somebody else.
Which I read a stat yesterday, and it was on Bleacher Report, and it talked about the parity of the NFL, and it showed that in the last 5 years, every single NFL team except for like 4 have won a playoff game in the last 5 years.
Okay, but those 4, like Jacksonville,
no, they were one of the ones that had won.
Who was it?
It was the Lions.
Okay.
Who else? Cleveland, I think.
No, Cleveland won. I thought Cleveland won one in the last couple years.
It would have been Cleveland. Detroit.
That's the Lions.
Yeah, I thanks, Coach.
Ray Miller said the Jets. You might be right about that, Ray. The Jets.
The Jets.
It might be the damn Giants too.
Yeah.
The Jets and the Giants. There you go. Ray said the Giants. I'm with you, Ray.
Let me see if I can find it, and we'll.
It might be the damn Falcons.
It might be the Falcons.
Because it's been a minute.
Anyway, I'll keep looking at it. And
but listen, my whole thing is, look at what we just said. We got the Lions, the Jets.
I got it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So since 2015. Okay. So that's what?
7 years.
6, 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7 teams have not won a playoff game since 2015.
All right, who is that?
The Giants.
Okay.
The Jets.
Yep.
The Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
The Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Detroit Lions.
Okay. I mean, anybody, raise your hand if anybody's going to miss any of them teams if they got their ass out the NFL. I mean, the bottom line, ain't nobody going to miss them teams. I mean, the NFC East might miss them because 2 of them in the NFC East. I mean, dude, that's crazy.
You got 2 in the NFC East and 2 in the AFC East.
I know, dude. But that's my point. It's like, dude, man, go on and cut them teams. I mean, or you don't have to cut the team, but just demand that the owner has to sell the team. Mm-hmm. Let's build another billionaire. You already a billionaire. Get your ass out there, take your billion and go do something else.
Yep.
But for us to keep giving you $1 billion a year for that kind of production, and in 7 years you haven't won a playoff game, 7 years. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anyway, what's next, Travis?
We'll skip the other one in the NFL. So we'll go to college because what's going on with Saban and Jimbo Fisher? We probably should have started with this. This was great. I loved this.
We're going to talk about it, but go ahead.
Nick Saban calls out Jimbo Fisher and Primetime, Deion Sanders, for reportedly paying recruits, and that's the reason why those teams are getting top quality recruits.
Well, what's happening is this whole NIL thing, people are using it to leverage getting kids to come to their colleges. Because what's happening is a lot of these corporations and whatnot are saying, hey, they can't give it to you, but I can give it to you. So, I mean, I'll let you be my poster child. And if you come to Texas A&M, we'll pay you money to be representing our company. We'll put you on a billboard and pay you $1 million or whatever. Right. And that's legal. And so colleges are allowing people to do that. Now, I heard today, ironically, it came up on my phone on my ESPN ticker. Some hotshot quarterback that was supposed to be going to A&M has switched and now says he's going to Alabama.
I did see that.
Yeah, amidst all this stuff, some big 5-star recruit who's supposed to be the, next thing since sliced bread has decided to pull his thing from Texas A&M is going to Alabama.
Right.
So, and I don't know if that was maybe part of Saban's plan, but like somebody said to me the other day, and I didn't think of this, so I won't take credit for it, but a friend of mine said, at the end of the day, Saban got his message out. Now, it might have cost him his friendship with Deion Sanders and with, Jimbo Fisher. But at the end of the day, he got it out.
Yep.
And I mean, a lot of people, because like Jimbo said, he's the czar of football. It's made everybody kind of wake up and be like, you know what? I'm glad Nick said that because, I mean, there is some things that need to change with all this. And so at the end of the day, Saban wins again.
Yeah.
And if you saw Steve Spurrier, which, Steve Spurrier needs to sit his ass down somewhere. But Steve Spurrier said, I don't see why Jimbo's mad. He said, tell Jimbo to name one thing Steve said that isn't true. That not Steve, but that Nick said that isn't true. And, Steve, Nick has tried to call both Deion Sanders and Jimbo to discuss it privately. And Deion said that he doesn't want to talk to him privately. He said, no, if we're going to talk, we need to talk publicly. Because when you called me out, you did that publicly. So now when we have a conversation, it needs to be public. I don't want it to be on the phone where we just, chit-chatting and nobody can hear it and all that. I want everybody to hear it when we talk. And Jimbo said that he don't want to talk to him. Jimbo said he has nothing to say to him. So I am somewhat saddened by all of this because I'm a fan of both coaches. Mm-hmm. I like Jimbo Fisher. I like what he did at Florida State and, taking over Bobby Bowden and all that stuff. And I'm a big Florida State fan, have been for years. And then, so like I said, everybody knows I'm a Saban fan. I'm a big time Saban fan. So I hate to see it all go down. I think looking back in retrospect, Nick, if he had said, those guys over there wearing burgundy and gray or whatever, as long as he hadn't just said their name directly, he would have been much better off. Yeah. But because he did say their names directly, he's in. I mean, it's going to be hard to live that down.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to live that down.
Yeah, he got his point across, right?
No doubt.
People are talking about it, obviously, but he's coming across as the loser in this in a huge way.
Mm-hmm. He is. I agree with that.
He is not coming out of this smelling clean. And Jimbo's kept calling him out on it on the press conference the next day, which I loved. I thought it was great. I couldn't listen enough to what was going on between the back and forth between specifically those two. I know Deion, had his stuff going on with tapes as well. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
You loved it because Alabama always kicking South Carolina's ass. That's why you loved it.
We don't ever play Alabama. Actually, we play Texas A&M every year, so we don't even play Alabama. But it made Nick Saban look like just an old fart that just is bitter and is angry.
Well, he is. I mean, that's Nick Saban. But Nick Saban's allowed to be that way. Bear Bryant was that way. Didn't nobody say nothing about Bear Bryant. I mean, what's the name that was at Ohio State? The old man.
Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes, the old and bitter. Nobody said nothing about Woody Hayes. Nobody said that. What's the name at Michigan? Schembechler.
Sure. I was gonna say
Schembechler was old and grouchy and everything. Nobody said anything about him. There's been a bunch of old grouchy coaches out there. So I mean, and let's all be clear. Saban could walk away from this game anytime he want to. I mean, Saban could be the SEC commissioner, Matt. Matt said the SEC commissioner told them all to shut up and get back to coaching. And you're right. But, I mean, he better shut up because Saban could take his job if he wanted to. I mean, and think about it. I mean, Nick Saban could have probably any job he wanted right now. I mean, he could be the damn new SEC commissioner. He could be on TV broadcasting, probably making $10 million a year. I mean, so it's not like. I mean, I don't blame him for saying something about it. I just think he could have chosen a better way to do it.
Agreed.
Because in all honesty, there is a lot of tomfoolery, let's put it that way, going on in college football because of all this stuff. Yeah. And I can see the frustration. I've talked to several coaches who are like, man, we're gonna get killed with this because we don't do business like this at our school.
Exactly.
Vanderbilt right now is being killed by it because Vanderbilt doesn't even let their kids put the name on the back of their jerseys.
Yeah.
And so there was a big thing about that with the kids. Like, people don't even know who I am because you don't even have my name on the back of my jersey. And, you know, Vanderbilt's stance says, well, make people know who you are before we put the name on the back of your jersey.
Yeah.
Who is that kid that keeps running up and down this field, blah, 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 and they'll know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, that's a lesson that the head football coach learned from the head baseball coach. And the head baseball coach has been very successful at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And he said, this is the way we do it as far as the names and all that other stuff. And the head football coach said, you know what? That's a good idea. I think we'll try that ourselves.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I couldn't get enough of it the last week. But I'll say this before we go off to the NBA. I'm looking forward to SEC Media Days.
Oh, it'll be fun.
You know, that's going to get brought up. And I can only hope that Texas A&M and Alabama get put on the same day. I can only hope that. They're not going to do that, but I hope they do.
No, they won't. And I think that, you know, at that point, I know Nick won't talk about it anymore. Nick will say, listen, you know, y'all had your fun with that story and this, that, and the other. But we moved on from that. And if they don't want to answer my phone call, that's up to them. They're grown-ass men. Next question. Nick will shut all that down. Because you know how he'll get. He'll be like, listen, if y'all want to talk about football or whatever, we can talk about football. I mean, I've said what I had to say about that, and then I'm moving on. So I saw Lane Kiffin. Yeah, he tried to get in there too. Yeah. Lane Kiffin tried to get in there, and they told him to go back to sleep. And and stay out of grown folks' conversation. But he ain't no grown man.
Go back to the Grove.
Yeah, he ain't no grown man.
Yeah. Last one. NBA playoffs. Golden State looking like they're going to sweep.
Bring out the broom. Bring out the broom.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that they might have a chance, but I didn't realize how weak the rest of the team is. I mean, Luka dropping 40, and they still getting beat. I mean, you know, you can't do too much more than that. When you dropping 40, and you know, and damn near getting a triple-double every game, because you rebounding, you know, you like 47 and 8 or something like that. And I mean, you know, just a couple ticks off of a triple-double, and you still can't win. Dude, you need some help.
Yeah. And the weird thing is they don't have – it's not like the Mavs are absolutely terrible, but they're not nearly on the level as the Warriors. And you just sit there and you go, how did they even get this far? Right? I know Luka was unbelievable the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. I'm not, you know, it's a rhetorical question, right? But it's just like, wow, like they're not on the level of the
I agree.
And
no, they're not.
It's just showing.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. Matt said, where's Miss Carey? She on vacation with Chris Paul. She might very well be, Matt. This is my thing that bothers me. I saw an interview with Luka, and I saw an interview with the head coach, Jason Kidd.
Yep.
I didn't like either one of them because both of them acting like they were just giving up. Yep. You know, Luka gave the old, hey, listen, I'm only 24. I'm really, 23. Yep. I'll be 24 in another couple months. So, I've got plenty of time to win a championship, and this has been a great experience, and I've learned a lot, like it's over. And then same thing. When Jason Kidd got up there, he was telling the media, well, hey, you guys didn't even plan on us being here anyway.
We weren't even supposed to be this good this year. Next
we
year's supposed to be our year anyway.
Yeah. We weren't even supposed to be here. So, you know, I don't know why you guys are acting like you so surprised now and this and that and the other. But, hey, we're a young team. This has been a great learning experience for us. It's our first time making it to the championship game. Though, I mean, just like it was already over. Yeah. I mean, it sounded like almost both of them sounds like these consolation speeches at that, and the series isn't over yet.
Exactly.
So I mean, I that put a bad taste in my mouth because I don't think you should be like that. You know, when you're still supposedly in the heat of things, which brings me to the next thing, the East. Dude, I am so tired of seeing these blowout games. I mean, because it's not fun. It ain't fun to watch. Ain't even close to being fun to watch. Terrible. And the fact that you can just pretty much look and see that basically this is a strategy of that team. Like it seems like the strategy is, man, we came in here and got one. That's all we need to do to make it back our home court. So now we're going to rest up tomorrow night. And then we're going to beat the brakes off these jokes when we get back to Miami. And I mean, it is, dude, I'm just telling you right now, somebody needs to investigate this shit because if that's the case, all this shit in Vegas and people winning, betting money and all that, dude, I mean, there better be some deep investigating to see if Jimmy Buckets and Adebayo and all them didn't all have their next door neighbors go put a meal on them to lose. I mean, because they just five starters on the number one seed had a total of 18 points. I mean, that's like, 3.2 points each.
They had 1 point with like 4 minutes left in the quarter.
I mean, dude, it's just, I'm just telling you, there needs to be a damn investigation because if that's what they're doing, and and the coach is endorsing it or the GM or whoever saying, hey, that's fine. If y'all want to do it that way, I'm with you. I mean, something needs to happen because, and I refuse to watch it. I mean, when I turned it on and I saw the first quarter or something like that, and they were already down by 20, I changed the channel. I'm not watching that.
I'm not. I haven't watched anything past the first half in any one of those games for the Celtics and the Heat. I'm watching hockey.
And I got a ticker. I got a ticker on my phone, and my phone came on and said, gave the halftime score, and it was like they were up by 26 or something like that. I said, dude, I'm not watching. I mean, I'm glad I there little ESPN thing to give me that update because they don't need for me to flip back and watch that. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
And they should be losing viewership. I mean, who wants to watch a game like that? I mean, it's not when you can tell that something is wrong when a team is beating another team like that, and then just watching them dribble the ball and not really looking for a shot, and I mean it was just bad. Yeah. And I'm serious. I mean, while y'all sitting up there doing all kind of stuff in Washington D.C., somebody needs to be investigating the NBA and all of it, from these jokers sitting out and all that kind of stuff, because like I said, it's bad for the league in my opinion. And like I said, these damn blowout games where you losing. They talked about Golden State the other day when they were playing Memphis was losing by 55 points at one time. I mean, what the hell are you doing? How could you possibly? I mean, me, Jason, Travis, Irv, and Matt Kaluta, Ray Miller, we probably could go out there and keep it within 55. I mean, are you kidding me? 55 points? Dude, that is insane. I mean, there's no way a pro team should be losing like that in some of these games.
Well, and the crazy thing is remember last year's playoffs? Last year's playoffs were really good.
Well, you had some earlier this year that were good too. Like that Milwaukee and Celtics, that was epic.
Okay, we've had one good series, but
Yeah.
for the most part, these NBA playoffs this year have been terrible. They've been so boring.
Who did the Bucks play in the first round? Not Bucks. I'm sorry. The Heat.
The Atlanta.
Oh, they played. Well, that was pretty good. They had some pretty good games.
They won in 5.
I know they won in 5, but they still had some pretty close games. And I hate the Hawks. You know I hate the Hawks.
I know you do.
And I would love to say they stomped them and whatnot, but they had some pretty close games. But again, Trae Young can't carry no team by himself. He needs a whole lot more help. He needs at least 3 more bodies to help him. But I thought that was a decent series. But this one here with these losses, the way they're losing, and you can just looks like somebody's just quitting. Dude, I hate to see that.
Yeah,
I really hate to see that.
Yeah, for me, the NBA, especially this round, has just been terrible. Right, the Mavs and the Warriors series has been boring. The Heat and the Celtics, even though it's 2-2, you go, oh yeah, it's 2-2. Every game's been a blowout. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I can only hope the NBA playoffs, the NBA finals is going to be enjoyable, but we'll see.
And I'm telling you, if I was a commissioner, I'd be like, listen, this is what we're going to do for y'all. Since there's been 2 blowouts like this and whatnot, and we keep doing this, we're not going to play games 5 and 6. We're just going to go straight to 7.
We're going,
and the next game we play, the winner goes on. The winner moves on.
That we forfeit 2 games. We're
Exactly.
going back to 5.
Exactly. And just move this down to 5.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to watch this bullshit.
Exactly.
So
hockey playoffs have been good this year.
I had said that you were going to that they were almost got me back watching, and then watching Jimmy Butler and them played up last night, dude. I was like, see, this is exactly why I quit fooling with the NBA, because of this kind of mess right here. Because that was terrible. So anyway, folks, it is 9:02 p.m. Yep. It's time for us to get on out of here. Matt, we will have conduct the investigation as into the whereabouts of Miss Carey. I didn't think about that, but you know what? I did think I do think I heard. I need to go back and look at it. Something about Chris Paul being in town today. So that might be why Miss Carey isn't here tonight. So I'm just telling you, I think Chris Paul was in Atlanta, and he might be talking about signing with the Atlanta Hawks. So maybe that's why Miss Carey's not here. So we will definitely look into that. I appreciate you bringing that up, and I'll be sure to let her know it was you who brought it up. Not me, Travis.
Not me either. I haven't said anything.
It was Matthew Kalu that brought it up. So we'll let her know about that. Guys, we appreciate everybody for being here. We got to run. It's time to say good night. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip.
All right, Travis, I'll see you later.
Yes, sir.